Hi, welcome to another episode of Fox's Little Nuggets. It's the daily rummage through the bin of news until we find the old stale packet of whatever it was that is reality, give it a good sniff and think, glad that's out there. First story, more than 500,000 university students reportedly want part-time employment but can't find it. The highest figure in more than a decade, and it's all down to the government and their policy of destroying jobs by raising the minimum wage for students, for young people, and also the rise in national insurance. Those little jobs that students would otherwise have had, tending bar, waiting in restaurants, etc., or working in shops on Saturdays, they're just not there anymore. And this is causing problems for students. It is an absolute perfect storm for them. Youth unemployment is already at between 18 and 24 is already at 15%, likely to get worse. So you've got a whole young generation coming up, many of whom will never have had a job. It's hardly giving them the start in life that they need. Plus, of course, if you come out of university after several years with your sometimes quite good degree, useful otherwise degree, but you've also got £50,000 worth of debt. So even if you go in and get a job, by the time you're earning enough to start paying it down, you've already earned so much in interest on that you'll never pay it off. You'll never own a house because that's counted on your credit record. You might be 30 years in work before you finally pay it off, but at which point, of course, well, you don't want to be buying a house when you're in your mid-50s, do you? But there you go, that's the problem. Naturally, the government is saying, well, we're putting more money in than ever, but it's not really going to the front, certainly not going to where it's needed. And if you truly want to help the people, the young people in this country, well, you create jobs for them and you don't tax the jobs out of existence. And yet, strangely, that's what Labour has done. Little comfort for the kids, is it? Your whole £50,000 of debt, and even the local Wetherspoons won't give you a shift. Ho-hum. That's what happens when you vote Tory. When you vote Labour. Although voting Tory hasn't helped. Chancellor John Healey, he's the second story. He's announced and informed. This is a great story. There was apparently fear and fighting in the cabinet over this because he's informed all his cabinet colleagues that Andy Burnham's latest spending promises have to be financed through cuts on their existing budgets. He says he's not raising taxes to pay for any of them. The departments have got to find the cuts within their own budgets. His first budget will take place shortly before Halloween, on the 28th. He says he will be built on fiscal discipline. But all chancellors say that, and none of them ever mean it. Everybody enjoys making announcements of policy and things they want to do. Paying for it is difficult. Locating the cash is a difficult thing. And Burnham, of course, is the one that's making the most announcements. So ultimately, if you're some junior minister and you make an announcement and then Burnham makes an announcement, who do you think is going to get the funding? Ain't going to be you, matey. So, whatever you think is going to happen ain't going to happen, and you're going to find cuts. But the Prime Minister and the Chancellor have now written a joint message to all the ministers explaining no additional cash, cut within your departments. Apparently, the pushback is immense. The only department that's been told it doesn't have to cut is Defence. But that's only because they've got no money to begin with. And so they've got to reprioritise, abandon unproductive things, move money away from old commitments, lie, steal, cheat, only buy shorter pencils. Basically, as well, don't replace staff who leave. That's a big one. But as Burnham visits the nation, praising everybody, saying, you're all wonderful, everything's going to be brilliant. I'm in charge now. Every child shall have a pony. Every home shall have a microwave and all the things he promises. But he doesn't mean a word of it because he can't fund any of it, especially his homeless sleeping one. But there we go. North of the border, up Scotland way. We're going to talk about Amar Anwar, a very odd man. One of Scotland's best-known human rights lawyers. He's accused the Reform MSP, Thomas Kerr, of hypocrisy. Shudder to think. A politician being a hypocrite. Surely no such thing has ever happened. But Kerr reported him to the police under Scotland's hate crime legislation. Reform, of course, promised to abolish that very legislation. The complaint followed a short video clip in which Anwar appeared to describe anti-immigrants or anti-immigrant campaigners as terrorists. Although strangely, when you look at terrorism around the world, it's not the Scottish, is it? It's not the people in Scotland, is it? No, there's another group. Kerr argues that describing people with legitimate concerns as terrorists poisons public debate and that the law must be applied equally. The police are reviewing the correspondence. But yeah, political campaigning against hate speech laws, but using hate speech to do it. It's circular, I suppose. It's a novel approach. Free speech, yes. I completely agree with you. All right to say anything you say, but if I don't like it, I'm phoning the police. No. 8-year-olds. Anyway, fourth story, the cracker. And it's the 1,000th police officers. Kemi Badenoch. Oh dear, Kemi, you can't count, can you? She's promised 1,000 police officers around the country to help with rural crime. Now, I'm not sure Kemi knows how big Britain is. Really. I mean, it's big. 1,000 officers. Not really going to cut it, is it? She's saying officers would form a dedicated countryside task force targeting agriculture, machinery theft, stolen tools, poaching, blah, 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 all the usual stuff. The party also wants tougher sentences. Pointless if you're not going to put anyone in prison. Or at least learn them out early. The Conservatives claim just 3% of burglaries in the most rural areas ever get result in charges. I can believe that. But it's just there. I mean, Labour promised this. Everyone promises this, but nobody can deliver. Because it's just too big an area. You need 10,000, not one. Although anyone attempting to escape across the field in a stolen tractor at 12 miles an hour will never be exactly sort of, the godfather of crime, will they? You can probably just give a short trot and catch up at it. And there we go. But we're going to, we've got, you've got this basic disconnect between Kemi's imagined size of Britain and how far she thinks 1,000 officers will stretch. It is very, very weird. But there we go. It's just one of those things. Still, I'm sure she knows. I'm sure she knows best. We have an and finally, which is one we can laugh at because Nicola Sturgeon has predicted that the UK will disappear within 20 years. But she's been saying that for 40 years. So I think it probably won't. I think it's probably quite safe. She went to Ireland and she said, oh, we want a united Ireland. So she wants to unite Ireland and unite the United Kingdom. Seems very weird. But also, isn't she the one that's saying that foreigners should keep out of domestic politics? Well, all she's proving is that she's a know-nothing nobody who knows nothing. She literally is a hypocrite of the highest order. But there we go. That's that. Let me know what you think. Have a great evening. Speak to you soon. Bye.